You mentioned Mookie. This is someone who was on pace to have the worst year of his career, like by far, objectively, the worst statistical year of his career. And yes, he lost 18 pounds to start the year because he had the bubble guts. He had a little stomach issue going on, and he's playing shortstop for the first time for a full season, had a death in the family, all this stuff, right? Well, hey, since August 4th, he's hitting at an MVP level, not an all-star level, an MVP level.
I just want somebody to talk Dodgers to me.
How was the game?
Oh, it was so nice.
Was it good to be back?
It was good to be back. It was good to see them playing well.
You brought them luck. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we needed that.
It's just, I love seeing Mookie smile. He really is one of my favorite players to watch. And when he's on fire, I just love it. And he's really bringing life into that dugout.
Yeah, I think all of them, I think it was kind of a rock bottom energy of what was happening. And, I'm going to take it. I know it's 3 wins. Well, I can manifest the one today. But
yeah, we're going to sweep the Rockies.
I get it's the Rockies and they don't have that good of a record and all the things. But, hey, I'm going to take it as, like, momentum building. And I'm here for it. Our boys look like they're starting to feel really good and that they're working together and getting that camaraderie that makes it so special.
I know. Finally, it's crazy how much can change in a couple days.
And honestly,
this is 3 wins, really but before that was like, 4 days ago? We were feeling like crap about our team, and now we're like, yep, we're winning the World Series again.
I know.
They really do put us on this emotional roller coaster.
I know. And I am seeing them click, but, there's still a lot of people that aren't really showing up.
Well, they're now playing for a spot on the postseason roster. So
even Kike, Kike, he could probably step it up a little.
Well, they got to put him in. You got to let him play.
You're right.
We'll see. Anyway, welcome back to Talk Dodgers to me. I am Melissa Meyer.
And I'm Jacqueline Ruiz.
And we have Doug McCain from Dodgers Nation on the podcast today.
Gosh. I'm just like,
what is up, Dodger fans? I can't stop doing it, okay?
He's such a vibe. And, we got to meet him at the Max Muncy event. And those people who just tickle your funny bone? Like, he is just hilarious to me. Everything that comes out of his mouth is just like...
I know. I didn't tell him that I screenshot all of our texts and send them to you because they're hilarious.
They're so...
He just is such a vibe. Just like the best energy.
Yeah.
When we met him, it was like we've known him forever. It was so cool to be around like all the Dodger content creators, but I really have watched his show for years. I like his voice. Even when he came on the Zoom, at first, like, his screen was black and we just hear him like, hey, girls. And it's like, there he is.
I know. And every single time we talk to someone who loves the Dodgers the way we do and follows them, it's just becomes a seamless conversation because it's like you can even say the littlest innuendos and you kind of pick up the gist of what's going down. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
We really could have talked to him for hours. And if we didn't actually stop the interview, we would have kept going.
I mean, even when we stopped hitting record, we kept going.
We did. We were just talking about the Dodgers.
Yeah, I know.
It's so fun though. Like that is what we like to do best. And like his perspective, he's been doing this for so many years that it's interesting to learn, how his mind works and what he thinks surrounding baseball, and even to learn like more personal things about him.
Yeah, no, totally. I got lost in the way he was explaining certain things, and it's always good to hear a different perspective. And, he's grown so much in this community, and he's just casually saying how he just has a conversation with Mookie.
I know.
And then, and it's so cool because he's doing it. I mean, he's all up in the mix. So
I know.
It's cool.
I know. Just so casual. So yeah, I was down there and just chatting with Kersh or Austin Barnes or
Dalton Rushing.
No big deal.
That guy got mad and got in my face because I said his name wrong.
I know.
So Austin Barnes came and was like, hey, man, it's like really cool stories.
I know.
We don't really get sick of hearing them.
We have 17 games left. Shohei Ohtani amount of games left.
Oh, gosh. I love a good number reference.
And I'm feeling good about it.
I mean, Shohei's going to be the first pitcher to hit 50 home runs. in a season.
While pitching? Well, because he did. You mean like, because
While
last year he did it and didn't pitch.
Yeah, I'm
That
saying
is
while
so
pitching.
crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know the accolades that just keep coming.
I loved seeing him come up after the worst loss in Dodger history, people are saying, when Yoshi could have gotten the no-hitter. I swear Shohei came up to the bat and was like, I am done losing. I'm hitting this ball out of the park, and then I'm going to do it again. And if anything, I'll make our team win.
Yeah, well, and I appreciate it, but I think Shohei needs to be leading better by example. And there's like more than just a home run.
I know.
Like, I'm not trying to be like, of course I'll take the home runs. I'm here for it, but we just need base hits, and like it's not always about a home run. And like everyone else step it up. Not Shohei can't always come through to hit the home run. It's just like it's not conducive to what we actually need through the season.
Yeah. Well, it seems like we have one or the other. We either have like guys hitting home runs and that's how we're winning games, or we're playing the small ball. We need it all to come together.
Yeah, because the most frustrating part is watching a game and it's like you're down and they're up by like 3 or 4 and someone comes up and then hits a home run. It's like, I'll take the home run, but it's like, we just needed you on base because now we needed the other 2 people to come up and then maybe that person hit the home run. Like, you know?
Well, now it's like our starting pitching is great.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so happy about it.
Sheehan is blowing my mind.
They're going through 7 innings, strong, dominant. We just had we were very shy of a couple no-hitters.
I know. Tyler Glasnow showed up.
But it's like we're winning. We have the advantage. We go into the 9th inning up, and our bullpen can't get a couple of outs for us. And it's really, really frustrating. So they got to get it together because we need a complete team. We can't have other teams kind of planning for that 9th inning and what they're going to do when our starting pitching comes out, because that's how I imagine they're going to kind of think about how to face us now.
Yeah. Interesting fact about Muncy.
You
guys have something to look forward to. This is a good one.
We learned a lot from Doug. A lot of inside scoop.
Yeah.
So please enjoy our interview with Doug McCain. Well, before you tell us that story, what is up, Doug McCain? Welcome to Talk Dodgers to me.
What is up, ladies? Big fan. I love talking Dodgers, so I can't wait to talk Dodgers to you. You talk Dodgers to me. We'll reciprocate that. We talked about before the show going, I mean, usually my studio wins with the bobbleheads, but you guys got the bats and the balls and the really clean logo, the bobblehead setup and the fan. It's kind of, you know, late LA summer. It always kind of heats up. That's definitely helpful. But yeah, hey, it's great to feel good about this team once again. So it's definitely a great time to talk Dodger baseball for sure.
I know before we started recording, we were like, can we just forget about those really bad games recently and just go straight to the wins? But
yeah,
I guess we have to talk about it all.
Go full Men in Black, just erase the memories. But no, as Mookie said, those struggles are going to help them. All of these moments of adversity, I think this team is at their very best when their backs are against the wall. I don't think this team wins the World Series last year unless they're down 2-1 to the Padres, unless they're facing a situation in the World Series where, hey, if you don't win Game 5, you don't have a lot of starters left and things like that. So I really do think this team, they've won so much. I mean, they've been the winningest team in baseball for over a decade now, that you almost need moments like this to kind of get them to come alive and unlock them. So yeah, and look, like full disclosure, like I'm not even joking. Like I was in tears when Yamamoto did not get the no-hitter. My wife was calling me soft. She thought like maybe did like my mom called me out of the death in the family or something like that. Like I was literally, because I see these guys work, you know what I mean? I see Yamamoto. I mean, this guy's diligent with the javelins and just all the work he puts in. You never know if you're going to get to that point again where you're 1 out away from a no-hitter. And yeah, it was just crushing. So sometimes it's the losses that that really kind of bring you close to this team.
I mean, haven't you noticed after his outing, even though it didn't get there, our pitchers who followed are coming out on fire. And I can't help but just think it's like they just got so pumped up by that and so inspired by like, because it's true, that doesn't happen. And for a coach to keep you in, like
Thank you, Dave Roberts. Like, that was so cool of him to just let him keep going.
I also cried. I felt so bad. It just was crushing. You know, one out away. We can't even get one out.
My eyes were sweating. I shouldn't say I cried. My eyes were sweating.
I did.
You cry, my eyes were sweating. It's a little different, but all right.
It just was really, you know, such a cool moment, and we were so close.
I know.
But I like how you're spinning it positive, both of you actually. And it did really pump up the guys to follow, because I'm sure they felt horrible too.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at, last year, remember when the Padres got that big triple play? It looked like maybe they were going to take over the division. And then the Dodgers were like, enough's enough. Like, right? Like, that's little brother. We're going to find a way to beat them at some point down the line. And you look at Saturday, this team was so close to having this moment, whereas, this is going to be the turning point. It's going to launch the Dodgers. The first no-hitter since 2014. I know you're probably saying, wait, didn't they pitch a team no-hitter in 2018? I don't count those. I don't call those no-hitters. I call those can't hitters. That's when the other team just couldn't hit anyone, right? I don't do the team no-hitter thing, but I think you're absolutely right, Jacqueline, in that was the turning point of this season. It almost feels like, because the very next game, it was like, Shohei, 2 bombs, Kersh, season high 8 strikeouts. Like, enough's enough. Put the kids to bed. We're
Mookie
too talented.
smiling.
I know.
On base, like when he smiled, that's what made my eyes sweat, because my tummy felt so happy to see that smile, like that genuine Mookie smile on base of like, all right, guys. Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh.
But I feel like that really was rock bottom. And if our guys didn't come out swinging that next day, I would have been absolutely pissed. But Shohei was like, I got to do something. And he was done losing.
Absolutely. And I always say this about this team. There's this narrative about these guys that they're the nice guys and they need more a-holes. They need more jerks or whatever it may be. How does that work out for the San Diego Padres, who have the loneliest trophy case in all of professional sports, right? How does that work out at Manny Machado and Tatis and those guys acting like that, when the truth is the Dodgers have the dogs, and it's not just the bullpen. They're all dogs, right? And they're all killers. They're all guys that are extremely competitive. And Shohei Ohtani is the best. There's nothing better than a dude who goes up to the plate, tips his cap to the manager, tips his cap to the catcher, and then hits 120 mile per hour off the bat, 400+ foot bomb, right? That's the ultimate FU. I'm going to show you how I do it on the field. And I think that he took it personal. I think the first home run was for Yamamoto. Second home run was to kind of send a message to this team that, hey, the bats need to wake up. We're getting good starting pitching now, and I'm a part of that, right? And I think that you're looking at a team that you're hoping is going to peak at the right time. But you're totally right. I mean, I totally agree with you. Like, this team is in a good spot right now. You're kind of feeling good about things. Like, the vibe check is different. You mentioned Mookie's smile. I talked to him after the game yesterday. I asked him a little bit about Teoscar Hernandez and just how important he is for this team. And what Mookie told me was like, hey, it was great to see him throwing seeds again. It was great to see him smiling again. And I noticed that usually when Teo hits a home run, you get the one nice little sunflower seed shower, and then you go into the dugout, you put your batting helmet back, and you're just ready for next at bat, ready to go back on the field. Last night, he got like 10 sunflower seed showers, right? I mean, he got a lot of his teammates coming up to him. It felt like they understood and recognized how big of a moment that was for him, because it hasn't been a great year for some of these guys. But you mentioned Mookie. This is someone who was on pace to have the worst year of his career, like by far, objectively, the worst statistical year of his career. And yes, he lost 18 pounds to start the year because he had the bubble guts. He had a little stomach issue going on, and he's playing shortstop for the first time for a full season, had a death in the family, all this stuff, right? Well, hey, since August 4th, he's hitting at an MVP level, not an all-star level, an MVP level. And you're seeing the smile, you're seeing the passion on the base pass. And isn't it awesome that all of this hitting has happened after they moved him back to right field? All they had to do was move him back to right field, right? Of course, I'm only kidding. They didn't move him back to right field.
For what, like one inning?
For one inning. It only took one inning, Melissa. One inning, and now it's prime MVP Mookie Betts once again. So there's a lot of really positive developments that are happening at the right time for this team.
Yeah.
And like, even with Teo, and it's like how excited the team got for him. And it's like, it really makes you remember, it humanizes them, where it's like, you think we miss their smile? Like, as teammates, they miss his smile. Like, they miss like seeing these guys.
We miss our smiles.
Yes.
We have been smiling. You know what I mean? Like, Like
I
totally
know.
agree with you.
I called Jacqueline today, and on our drive here, we're on the phone, and I'm like, it was just so good to see Mookie smile. We're seeing Teo smile. Mookie's happy to see Teo smile. We're smiling. Like, this is great. I miss this.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like that's the thing about this team. I mean, they really have this unconditional support for one another. And I think that's common with a team that doesn't have guys that are really competing for things other than winning the World Series. I mean, you look at the cast of characters in this group, and it's all guys that have either won a World Series, won multiple World Series, won All-Star, made it to All-Star teams, and are potentially future Hall of Famers. So really all that's left for a lot of these guys is just padding that legacy and winning more World Series. But hey, like, let's be honest, like what made last year's team special, what allowed them to catch that lightning in a bottle was the vibes, right? It was Kike, it was Teo, and it was Mookie, and it was all these guys coming together for that epic run where you weren't really in great shape from a starting pitcher standpoint. Had 2.5 starters, the bullpen had to carry the load, but they found a way to get it done. I think this team is like kind of primed and ready to do that once again. There's no doubt about it in my mind.
Well, I hope. I mean, we would have like the Tommy Edmonds come in last season and all of a sudden hit a homer and do all this stuff. And I think that's really where it's going to set us apart is like we have our stars, our starting pitching's doing really well. It's like when you have the Pajes come up and hit the home runs and you have all of the other people showing up, that's when like the beauty, I think, really just starts to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I completely agree. That's the thing about that makes this team really special is that there's a lot of teams out there that have all stars, that have superstars, but it's how's that eighth guy in your lineup? Who's that 26 man on your roster? And the beauty of this team is I've said this all season long. Like, you know, there's a lot of people that were comparing this team to the 1998 Yankees, right? Who won 114 games. Let's not forget that was the beginning of that run for that second dynasty in that span. But the 2000 Yankees that were trying to repeat, they were trying to three-peat, they were trying to win multiple championships. They struggled down the stretch. I mean, they lost 7 straight games, 15 of 18 games. Teams that play a lot of baseball are always going to have attrition, injuries. Playing deep into October comes at a price. And early in this year, they're kind of paying that bill, right? Like Trinan going down, Teoscar having a couple injuries, Kike getting injured, even Mookie, even Freddie Freeman went through a long slump. I mean,
Yeah,
people wanted to trade. The crazy thing about the Muncy turnaround is an all-timer. Like, if you look at my show, like fans wanted to trade Max Muncy for a bucket of baseballs and like a half-eaten bag of Funyuns. And now all of a sudden, this is the guy that is the straw that stirs the Dodgers drink, right? He's the guy that is so important to this team. And he's not a future Hall of Famer. He's not like this like $200 million player like some of these other guys, but he's so important to this lineup. And you kind of get that when you have these long, deep runs for a team. So that's why I think this team is in a really good spot. The Muncy thing's crazy to me. Muncy to me is almost like he's like a bassist in a band that's like really important, right? Like Dirt in Green Day, right? It's like he's not the lead singer, not the lead guitarist, but it's like every great band has like a great bassist, and he's that for this team. I mean, they average almost 6 runs a game when he's in the lineup. They average less than 4 when he's out. I mean, the winning with Max Muncy since 2024, I looked at it this morning, it's like 102 and 62 with Max, 77 and 66 without. So there's just some magical quality.
I know.
Max Muncy.
Which well, we know he's really good at bats and the way he looks at the ball, and it allows the rest of the guys to watch it, and we know how important that is. But what would you say? Like, what is your perspective on how important Max is besides those really good at bats?
Yeah, what makes this season different? Because I feel like even I'm like, am I the only one feeling this? I feel his absence so much, and when he comes back, it just is like a different team.
Yeah, it's like 2 seasons in a row of this.
Like sometimes, like on my show, we go like as deep into the nerdy stats as possible, but then we also go as surface level. Like, hey, you look good. You know what I mean? Like it's as basic as that, and as deep as you want to get. And sometimes with Max Muncy, it's just you can feel his at bats to me, right? You can feel an intensity to his at bats, even if it's a ground out, even if it's a fly out, even if it's a strikeout. There's such an intensity to the way he approaches at bats, because this is a guy that sees 4.2 pitches per at bat. So even if he does get outs, you get 2 at bats, he's seen 14 pitches, he's seen 16 pitches. And if you're on the on deck circle, you're not going to go up there and swing 3 times or swing at the first pitch, right? It kind of rubs off on guys. But I'll tell you a story. I was up at Oracle Park covering the Dodgers Giants earlier this season, and I do the post game show live from the stadium after the game. So I'm like one of the last people to leave. And Oracle has always been kind of criticized as this, like, it's a great park. I mean, all jokes, Giants suck, SF, season finished, all that great stuff. But that's a really nice ballpark. But the criticism is it's kind of like a jail. Like, it doesn't let you out. Like, there's no way to find a way out, like, after they lock everything out. So I was one of the last guys to leave. As I'm leaving, I see this dude. I'm like, hey, bro, how the hell you get out of here? And this dude turns to me, and it's Logan Webb.
Oh
And
my gosh.
he actually pitched that night for the Giants. And I'm like, bro, how do you get out of this, man? He's like, man, just follow me, man. We'll go through the players' parking lot exit. So, it's Logan Webb. Of
I
course,
wish his two grandmothers were there to show you the exit.
I know, it would have been nice. Have this. Yeah, that's a nice pull. I respect that, Melissa.
That's so cute.
We go out to the players' parking lot, and he's like, hey, I'm going to go out with my dinner. I'm going out to dinner with my friends like in an hour. Like, you have some time to kill or whatever. And I was like, oh, cool. Yeah. So I just, hung out and talked to him for like about an hour. He basically answered all my questions about a lot of different things. But the number one thing that stood out to me was I asked him, hey, like, what's the biggest challenge of facing this Dodgers lineup? And what he told me was a little shocking. He said that when we play the Dodgers, we game plan for one guy, and that guy was Max Muncy. And his reason for that, it's crazy, right? His reason for that was that they know what they're getting with Shohei Ohtani, right? Like, Shohei's Shohei. He's going to go up there and do damage.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the helmet's going to fall off on a big swing. You see the beautiful hair. He's going to get back in the box. He strikes out. You live with it. Mookie Betts, same thing. Freddie Freeman's going to go up there and grind. But with Max Muncy, it's the way that if you can neutralize him, their data told them that if you stop Max Muncy, you can stop the Dodgers. And this was before all of this data that came out after the fact that, this Dodgers so good with Max, they're not as good without. So it tracks with kind of everything that's come out after the fact because, he's in the middle of that lineup. And think about it. If you're facing this Dodgers lineup, you've got the MV3 at the top. It's a lot of stress. And then when Will's going, like he has been most of this season, when Teo's going, by the time you get to Max Muncy, it's like, all right, cool. Can I take this at bat? And then boom, home run, right?
Are they just determined to not have him hit it in the ocean again?
That's probably what it is. He does, I'll never forget. I was one of the people that rushed over to Wikipedia after he had hit another splash bomb in 2021 against them to edit the Giants Wikipedia as Max Muncy being the owner of the San Francisco Giants. And yeah, like he's Mr.
Wait, so
Splash
it's true.
Bomb.
Anyone can edit Wikipedia?
You have to be like a member. There was some loopholes, you got to go through some,
He'll tell us after the show.
Okay.
You got to pay someone on Fiverr, you got to do all this kind of weird stuff. But yeah, no, it's so having him back in the fold is absolutely an incredible thing. And I think you look at this Dodgers team on the year, find every piece of wood you can knock on. But yes, they have used more starting pitchers than just about any team and pitchers in general than any team in baseball this year. But they've really gotten a lot of really good breaks. Like when Max Muncy went down, when Kershaw got his 3,000 strikeout, everyone thought that was season ending. And he's made it back from 2 injuries since then, right?
Tommy, and that was such a moment where it was just like,
oh my gosh, I forgot about that with him getting carted off the field. Well, we know how important Max is and his bat. But I feel like he really has stepped up this season with the absence of Austin Barnes and Chris Taylor as a leader. How much do you think our team is missing Barnes?
It's funny actually when they went down, I texted Barnes to see if they had contacted him and things like that, just because Will Smith, Dalton Rushing went down. And yeah, it didn't seem like there was any communication there. As far as
we were texting that to each other. Time to call Barnes back.
It's a great thought. I have a funny story about Austin Barnes I can tell you, but as far as the captain stuff, I asked Miguel Rojas once, after an interview, I was like, dude, I'll pay you $100. Who the hell is who's the leader of this team? I'll just give me a name. I need to know who's the guy that's the team leader. And I kid you not, what he told me was Dave Roberts is the leader of this team. And what he told me was the reason why Dave Roberts is the team, and the reason why he told me that was a fair answer to that question was if Dave Roberts needs a message sent to a player, he's not going to do it himself all the time. He's going to get a player to send that message to the other player. For example, one thing that I heard was I haven't really said this. One thing I heard, so there was that controversy a couple weeks ago when Teoscar Hernandez did not catch that ball in right field against the Rockies. And there was that story from the LA Times that Mookie was called into Dave Roberts' office with Andrew Friedman to talk about moving back to right field. And Dave Roberts said that wasn't true. Mookie Betts said that, oh, me and Dave, we have a father-son relationship. I was in there talking about my swing. Trust me, come on. Like these guys, after they play, they're going home to their families. They're going to their PS5s and Xboxes. They're relaxing, recovering. Like you don't see a lot of after the games, at least myself. What I heard was that Dave Roberts was telling Mookie Betts to talk to Teo about his right field defense. And I heard that Mookie and Rojas and the team talked to Teo. And after that, Teo's defense, at least from just a pure effort standpoint, has improved tremendously. And that's just kind of an example of how Dave Roberts moves the chess pieces. Like, I know everyone thinks this about Dave, and it's one of the low-hanging fruit takes in the world of Dodger baseball. When things go wrong, you blame Dave Roberts. When things go right, it's like they started playing a game of Monopoly, and he already has Park Place and Boardwalk with hotels on him, right? That's how people think that Dave Roberts has it, right? He's got the keys to a Bentley. But what he's so good at, in my opinion, just kind of seeing him, is that he doesn't get too high. He doesn't get too low. When players are at their lowest, he knows how to put their arm around them, give them confidence. And there's just so many examples. Pages, you mentioned Muncy, you mentioned Mookie. Think of all these guys. Outside of Will Smith and Shohei, no one's had just this great year from start to finish. And I think a lot of that has to do with Dave Roberts. And I think that people just don't know the real Dave Roberts behind the scenes. Like, dude is an absolute fiery competitor that knows how to get his own guys to send messages for him.
Well, can someone send a message to Conforto? Can he give him a hug or whatever Dave needs to do?
I was telling Dave Vassay, because Vassay tweeted that thing about the the Mookie ovation, and it kind of helped to spark that. I was like, dude, when are you gonna do the Conforto ovation? Like, tweet that out. Like, do we need to have Dave Roberts go out there, give him a hug like Yohan Ramirez last year and things like that? Yeah, I mean, it does feel,
I don't know if Conforto has gained our love like Mookie has for the fans to be willing to do that for him.
But I have seen a few people in the Dodger community, like, they bought Conforto jerseys. Like, they're trying to like push a very positive, like, even on the little notes on Instagram, it says, I love Michael Conforto. And they're like, okay, look, I can't stop. I'm not going to hate. I'm going to bring positive. And like, I think people are trying to rally and like give him the positive energy from fans. But yeah,
some of the players say that they like getting booed because that riles them up. So who knows what he needs. It's been frustrating.
Booing works, worked for Kenley Jansen in 2021. But yeah, the Michael Conforto question is going to be one the organization kind of has to answer, right? I think when you look at Michael Conforto, and full disclosure, I mean, I'll take the L. Like, one thing, I take the L on my show. Like, I take the victory laps a lot too. But if I get something wrong, I'm not afraid to mention it. And one of the things I said heading into the season was that Michael Conforto was going to make the All-Star team. And the reason why I said, big L, okay, I'll duck. All right, I'll duck. But the reason why I said that was the Dodgers have had so much success in recent years in bringing in guys that have been all-stars on other teams that are kind of in the later stages of their career, who are looking to have a really good year with the Dodgers and then use that to get a nice contract to kind of end their prime years. JD Martinez a couple years ago signs here for 1 year, makes the All-Star team. Teoscar Hernandez last year is the best example. Makes the All-Star team, wins the Silver Slugger, was incredible in the postseason, gets rewarded with a 3-year, $66 million deal with the Dodgers. And the reason why the Dodgers signed those guys was because of how all their underlying stats looked, where they were hitting the ball hard. They were, in Michael Conforto's case, he was playing at Oracle Park, which is for some reason a theme on the show, but Oracle Park is the second worst hitting park in baseball. And he hit 17 of his 20 home runs last year outside of Oracle Park. So he hit the ball really hard with the Giants. He had a lot of success in the last half of the season. It just has not translated. The one thing that it's tough to account for is you just kind of never know when a guy is like falling out of his prime. And you never know when a guy is pressing a little bit because he's on a 1-year deal, because he's on a team with the World Series aspirations. Look, my show, the people have coined the phrase in the chat, "Oh for Fordo," right? I mean, they like go so hard on Michael Conforto. And the good news about it is, like I always say, there's no such thing as a bad one-year deal. And the great thing about this Dodgers team is they play players, they don't play paychecks. Like the truth is, they're not married to Michael Conforto because they paid him $17 million. I've heard people use this the entire year that, oh, it's the sunk cost fallacy, right? Oh, it's when you go see a movie and you paid for the ticket and you watch it until the end because you already paid for the ticket. Looking at you, Blair Witch Project too. But like you look at some of these situations, that's not the case. When you drop $400 million on a roster, like $17 million is not a lot. And especially when you consider they moved off of Chris Taylor that they still owed $15 million to. The reason why they've continued to keep him on this roster is because they think eventually he's going to be able to help this team. It's really going to come down to two guys for the end of this roster, I think. It's going to be Ha-Seong Kim and Michael Conforto. And Ha-Seong Kim can help this team because you can use him as a pinch runner, because he plays multiple positions in the infield, but can he hit as a lefty against big league pitching in the postseason, right? I think the Dodgers would like to see Conforto do just enough to where he can hit in the postseason, but I still don't think that it's going to be a big topic of conversation when it comes down to it, because I think the Dodgers outfield alignment in October is going to be, they're going to move Tommy Edman permanently to center field. He comes back tonight. He was an above average outfielder. I think that's why they.
You don't think Kike is going to be in center at all?
I think they're going to mix it up with Kike in center and Kike in second. And that's kind of my point for Ha-Seong Kim, right? If you're not going to have him at second, where are you going to really have him? And does he help you more off the bench as a late base runner? That's really what he'll do. Versus Conforto would kind of be reduced to either DFA'd, which is on the table for sure. What I've heard is kind of 50-50 at the moment. And then also, do you use him as a bench bat where all he can do really is hit for you? And if you're not hitting, and that's the only thing you can do.
Yeah, I mean, they're fighting for spots right now. And I know you mentioned, you know, they don't play contracts, they put the players in. And I hear this a lot from fans, and that's what they're saying about Conforto. Would you agree with that about Tanner Scott? I mean, I was at the game the other night where he let up that double in the ninth when we had another no-hitter going. That was the loudest the fans were that night, booing him.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's the thing. So the difference between Tanner Scott and Michael Conforto is, one, for Scott, you are committed to him for 4 years.
$72 million, right? Is his contract?
$72 million. It's a major commitment to a reliever. And yes, I've heard it all. Like Tanner Scott, he's a double agent from the Padres to sabotage the Dodgers. Tanner Scott, I wouldn't trust him to water my
can
plants.
he please prove us wrong?
I know.
That's the thing. I mean, the thing about why you.
But then he's saying baseball hates him the other day. I felt bad for the guy.
Oh yeah, I know. That makes me sad.
I know. Hate's a strong. And the funny thing about that is, like, that's what kind of made me scratch my head about the whole Dave Roberts thing. Is like, you brought in a guy in a tough spot that 24 hours earlier said that baseball hates him, right? So I don't know what he has to do to get baseball to not hate him. But I think for him, the thing you look at Tanner Scott is this, though. The number one thing for Scott is this. And I've been saying this all season long. When he was dominant with the Marlins and the Padres for 2 seasons, had a sub-2 ERA, was one of the very best relievers in the sport. Just ask Shohei Ohtani last year in the NLDS how good Tanner Scott is when he's at his best. The difference was he was not throwing as many strikes. Like, his walk rate was 13%, which is below average in a bad way. With the Dodgers, it's down to 6%. So it's been cut in half. And when he's working in the zone, he becomes too predictable. So I think the reason why, and I if I have to be the last person to be on, I'm not selling any of my houses on Tanner Scott Island. And that the reason is the velocity is actually trending up, and it's consistent to where it's been when he was been his best. The slider, as far as the vertical break, the movement is still there. It's just the attack plan has been a little different, right? The Dodgers, sometimes they want to, I don't want to say do too much because their track record speaks for itself. They're the best in baseball when it comes to development and giving you the best way to optimize yourself. But sometimes for Tanner Scott, it's like, it wasn't broke. Why'd you try to fix it? And it feels like they tried to fix it. I talked to Tanner Scott a couple different times about this, and he said, hey, maybe I am throwing too many strikes. He said, maybe One time he told me too, like early on the season, I was like, hey, like it looks like you're not opening up as much. And he was like, hey, are you recording? I was like, no. He's like, dude, my mechanics have been dog-ish, right? And we went back, we looked at everything, and once you kind of fix a couple things with him, you can start to see some success. But the thing about Scott is, hey, like they kind of have to run with him because of how good he's been. But on the same token, the Dodgers bullpen that everyone complains about right now is not going to be the Dodgers bullpen I think you see in the postseason. Because Emmett Sheehan, look how dominant he was yesterday.
Oh
Right?
my gosh.
Yeah, he was amazing.
Fantastic.
And is Emmett Sheehan going to start a game for you in the postseason? Where does he start when you have Yamamoto, Shohei Ohtani, Blake Snell, Tyler Glasnow, even Clayton Kershaw? So, hey, you don't use 6 starters. You don't use 5 starters in the postseason. So that tells you that a guy who has elite, he has 72 whiffs in his last 4 starts. I mean, he's been fantastic. When you have a guy with that kind of swing and miss in short burst situations, when you can go even harder, like that's an addition to your bullpen. I also think, and I've said this all season long, that they're going to use Shohei Ohtani for at least 1, possibly 2, maybe even 3 postseason clinchers. Right. So that's already an addition of Sheehan. That's already an addition of Shohei Ohtani.
I can't wait.
I'm so excited. Like, let's just make these games happen, guys.
I mean, it's going to be, it's absolute cinema, right? As the kids say, right? I mean, like, so yeah, I mean, that's the thing. So I think that if I had to, Brandon Gomes has said this, that he thinks the 2024 Dodgers aren't as talented of a team as the 2025 Dodgers, right? And look, a lot can change in baseball, right? And baseball is like the flukiest, most gut-wrenching sport that there is. Like things happen in baseball that just give you nightmares for the rest of your life, right? But on paper, this team is in such a better spot than they were this time last year that they just have to find that magic again. And the difference this year too is like, yeah, there's just a lot of things I think are working in their favor because the bullpen, Tanner Scott, like is there you guys know my nightmare scenario, right? My nightmare Dodger scenario.
No, I don't know.
I'm a little afraid to hear it.
This is terrifying. But this is when I wake up at 3:30 in the morning and I stare at the ceiling fan, right? This is my nightmare Dodgers scenario. It's game 7 of the World Series. The Dodgers are facing the Astros. They're up 4-1. And then Tanner Scott on the mound gives up a grand slam to Jose Altuve to win the World Series for the Astros. And get this, it gets worse. Ready? Andrew Friedman feels so bad for signing Tanner Scott that he resigns.
No.
And because of that, Shohei Ohtani uses his opt-out in his contract. Because remember, if Friedman isn't a part of the organization, Shohei can opt out of his deal with the Dodgers. Then he signs with the Padres.
No.
Then he wins the World Series with the Padres because Yu Darvish convinced him to go down there. I know.
Okay, Doug, you need to stop. I
What is
don't want
happening?
you to put this out into the world right now.
I don't want to manifest. No, I hate that.
That truly is the worst thing ever.
And the reason why I do is because
Combining the Padres, the Astros, Shohei, not like, okay, that's horrible.
It's nightmare fuel, but like, it's my job to worry. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm not saying it's going to happen, but when you kind of paint that picture, right? Like, do you honestly believe that the Dodgers, with what they've seen from Tanner Scott this season, would trust him in that spot? The whole point of that was just to prove this point.
Yeah.
That 1988, it was Oral Hershiser who closed it out for the Dodgers. 2020, it was a former pitcher for this team, that Julio Urias, that closed it out. Last year it was Walker Buehler. All starting pitchers, right? The Dodgers.
Hey, let's switch it to Shohei Ohtani. Can he be the game 7 closer?
Thank you. Absolutely. The thing about using, and Mark Pryor, Dodgers pitching coach, has already said that it's a great question. It's something they've talked about and thought about. There's a couple of factors when it comes to using Shohei out of the pen to close things out. One of them is he can't come back in the lineup if he stops pitching out of the bullpen. So you better finish the job. You better not turn over the lineup while he's kind of getting warmed up and things like that. And you got to have it end a series too, right? And I just think that, look, I call it the plot armor. Like the Dodgers have the plot armor kind of because they've got the main character in Shohei Ohtani. Like we saw what he did in the WBC in 2023 against Mike Trout. Like this guy's not trying to be the best player in the league. Like he's trying to be the best player in the history of the sport. And to have him on the mound in a clinch in the World Series, you're talking about something that would be included in the B-roll highlight package for the World Series until the end of time, right? So
Mhm.
I know. I'd love to see Shohei's book of his goals.
I know.
Because he comes
I
off so
know.
calm, cool, and collected and so nice and all the things. I'm like, dude, you're right. He's not like, I'm going to go and hit today. He's like,
but he's
nah.
checking things off.
Yeah, he's just
in his own
I
way.
know.
You know, you're around the team so much, Doug. How much do you think what happened last season, you know, we're almost in the opposite situation now where our starting pitching is our strongest that we have right now, and our bullpen is really struggling. How much do you think last season played into their planning? And do you think they're being extra smart with putting the guys on the IL so that all of our starting pitchers are ready for the postseason? Because we hear them talk about the postseason, everything to the Dodgers is the postseason. It actually is kind of exhausting hearing them continue to say that these are not meaningful games because, hey, if we won more games, we wouldn't be in this position right now. So it is getting frustrating, but I'd love to hear your perspective on kind of what you think is going on behind the scenes for going into this year after winning a World Series.
I mean, I think we're in a mind meld because I've been really thinking that this entire season that anytime any Dodgers starting pitcher has had the check engine light on, they've taken him to the shop. Like they have not done anything to risk guys pitching through injuries because of what you said, the PTSD, the nightmare scenario from last year where you had 2.5 starters. You had Yamamoto, Flaherty, and Walker Buehler. And of that group, Yamamoto was going on extra rest. Flaherty, he had good starts and bad starts. And then Walker Buehler, he found it late. But even when he started, it's not like he was going 6 or 7 innings, right? I mean, he did have that really strong start against the Mets. And he did have his moments, and he really found it. And, of course, no one's going to forget him striking out Alex Verdugo to end that series. But the truth is, like, Jack Flaherty wouldn't crack this year's version of the postseason roster. Like, he wouldn't even be considered for it, right, based on the guys they have now. And I think that you're absolutely right that they've looked at this season. They said to themselves this: we'll sacrifice 10 to 15 to 20 wins if it means that we have Blake Snell, who missed significant time after signing a $182 million deal. If it means Tyler Glass now, if the back's giving you a problem, okay, you're not going to pitch in Baltimore. You'll just go no hit for 7 innings in your next start, right? Shohei Ohtani, he could have pitched in May, didn't pitch till later. Clayton Kershaw, same thing. They did all that, in my opinion, strategically to be in the position where they're at now, where you enter the postseason with the most talented rotation. Tyler Glass now is a game 1 starter for most teams in baseball, and he's the 4th starter for this team. And in the bullpen, I think that, look, different years you lean on different position groups. Last year, the bullpen, they got over 60% of the outs for this team. And we were talking about a situation where if the offense didn't score enough runs early in some of those postseason games, Dave Roberts had to punt, right? He had to use the Landon Knacks and the Brent Honeywells just to live to see another
Brent
day.
Honeywell.
I mean, my theory is that Ben Rortvedt is like the catcher equivalent of Brent Honeywell, right? Like,
do we have a nickname for him? Because that's a really tough name to say.
Yeah, Ben Rortvedt. Yeah, it's like I had this like
Rory.
Rory's pretty cool. I like that. Rory.
Our guys add Y's to everything, so I was trying to figure out how we can get that in there.
Yeah, Ben Rortvedt. He kind of looked like this NPC character at first. You know what I mean? And
what a week he's having since getting called up.
It's got to be a whirlwind for him for sure. Absolutely. Like
caught Kirsch.
Yeah,
caught 2 almost no hitters.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's something in the air with these Dodgers starters and just kind of working with these catchers. And yeah, that's kind of where this organization, I think, sets themselves apart, is finding those guys that no one else kind of wants. I mean, when Ben Rortvedt came up, I was like, dude, like, we need a dude hitting 100. The hell's he gonna do? Then I'm like, 2 days later, no, it's about pitch framing, guys. You don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of funny, like, how they can kind of get you to change your opinion on some of these different players. But yeah, I mean, the bullpen's the big question. There's no doubt about it. Like you mentioned, the rotation is too. But yeah, I mean, this is a Dodgers team that I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, what is your confidence level in this team?
The last couple of days, it's definitely turned things around. I mean, it's interesting, like, being a fan and the ups and downs of being a fan and trying to kind of navigate my own thoughts through what, you know, the media is projecting and the questions being answered, because I trust our team. I really do.
Yeah,
they have proved that to us.
I've trusted them before. And as a fan of all these years, I mean, we all know there's times when you have to just admit, like, I don't think this is the team.
Okay,
But
I
I
thought
don't
that, but I
ever-
don't anymore.
Well, but I don't ever go there until I'm in the postseason. Like that's everything comes alive. So I don't quite know. I'm it's promising, but I am definitely not rooting against them. I think, call me delusional, but I think that they are going to click. I think everything that they've been doing with their pitching and the way that it's setting up and the way that we're going into the postseason, I believe that they are fighting so that they can click on all cylinders. And I have to believe that they're going to do it.
Well, when they do, it's amazing to watch.
Mhm.
And there's not a more fun team to watch. And I love it so much. And I love being a Dodger fan. But like we kind of mentioned earlier, like we're looking for who's the leader because something's missing. They're not clicking. There's not a sense of urgency. It is so frustrating when we're watching the guys, you know, in the post-game interviews, just be like so kind of casual about how horrible they're playing. But now seeing them start to click, watching them in the dugout, it does feel like something is sparking and they're getting ready and they're getting amped up and the season is coming. And like you said, they play their best when their backs are against the wall. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the 17 games we have left and hopefully a long postseason run.
I mean, when I hear Kersh say, like, we're too good to not pull it together. And like, I believe that too, you know? And so, yeah, I'm not quite to the moment where I can look at them and I'm like, I don't know. I don't think that. I think we still have it. Honestly, I think when we click, nobody can beat us.
Actually, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, like, that's like, I think that could not be any more true. Like in years past, as you mentioned, Jacqueline, like there's years like the Manny Machado year, right? And Corey Seager goes down, like, yeah, maybe I'll talk myself into a World Series if Puig does this, if Rich Hill does that. But the truth is, like, you would take that Dodgers roster and you compare it to other teams around the league, and you'd be like, oh, maybe I would trade that. I mean, obviously you love the guys, right? But you'd be like, as far as talent goes, you would kind of flip-flop that. Like, I guarantee you, every single general manager in Major League Baseball, if you presented them the Dodgers roster and offered to trade the Dodgers roster for their roster, they would drive all their players to the airport in a bus to get the Dodgers roster, right? Like from top to bottom, this is the most talented team. And there's no great teams out there. Like the Dodgers are on pace to win 90, 91 games, which would be the lowest mark in their division wins in this era. But it's not about that for this team. Like baseball is the sport where it doesn't matter what you did on the midterm, doesn't matter what you did on the quizzes in between. It's if you ace the final and you cram the night before and you crush it, like that's all that people remember. And this is a Dodgers team that, yeah, maybe the Phillies present a problem. Yes, the Brewers are going to beat the Dodgers. Like, I don't want to get like too cocky here, right? But like all these guys, like the Kershaw thing, I think is so real. And I think the Kershaw thing that you mentioned about this team is so talented. Like that's why they know how good they are. And they also know that when they're at their best, like for teams to beat the Dodgers in the postseason, the Dodgers have to be at like a C and they have to be like an A, you know? But if the Dodgers are a B, they beat most teams C's, right? They beat most teams A's, right? Like that's just how it is. If the Dodgers are an A, they're unbeatable, right? No one can beat the Dodgers where they're an A. But even if they're a B, they can beat most teams. Even if they're like a C plus, like, you know, the Dodger Stadium magic can happen. Like Freddie Walkoff Grand Slam, like things like that, right? So yeah, I mean, this is a special year. I do want to say something though. Like anyone who like predicts like baseball in general is out of their freaking minds. Like, I don't know if you saw this, like a couple years back, these statisticians got together and did a study where they compared how Major League Baseball best of 7 game series had gone, where the better team based on regular season record had won, and what you would have to do in other sports to have the better team win a series 80% of the time. In the NBA, you would have to have a best of 75 game series. In the NHL, you would have to have a best of 51 game series. The NFL, we know there's no like series, but it would have to be a best of 11 for them to match the parity and the unpredictability of Major League Baseball. So last year, the Dodgers, they had the best record. They had the best team. They won. But it doesn't always happen. Like baseball is like Andrew Friedman calls it the theater of October, right? Like
it is. It's who's hot.
So that's the thing. Like, obviously we think this team's in a good spot for sure, but yeah, it is baseball. And you know, only thing I really want to see like Dalton Rushing, he said a couple weeks ago after he hit that big 3-run home run against the Padres that, he said after the game, we're going to see those guys again. And who knows? Is that going to be in the wild card round, the NLCS? Who knows, right? But if you see the Padres along the way, I think that would kind of bode well for the Dodgers' chances. I mean, the only team that I think, the only team that can be the Dodgers is the Dodgers. I really will say that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do want to switch gears a little for this next part and get more into you, Doug, and learn more about you. We're talking about kind of the frustrations of baseball right now, but why do you love baseball?
It's a really good question. I mean, when I was born, I came out of the womb and, I was placed in the ICU and, they did some blood tests. They came back fine, but all the doctors were really perplexed because, when I was getting my shots, the blood came out blue, right? And ever since then, of course, okay. But I mean, the truth of the matter is the reason why, so like, honestly, I'm a lifelong Dodgers fan, lifelong sports addict. Like if I was the janitor at South Pasadena Middle School, like 2 blocks away from here, I would still be as into this stuff. I just so happen to do this for a living. But yeah, the reason why I love baseball is for a lot of different reasons. I mean, I do think it's kind of one of those last things that actually kind of brings people of all cultures together to one place to root for a common cause. I mean, go to one Dodger game and you see every single race, every single culture represented, which I think is an awesome thing. But honestly, I love greatness. I mean, that's the truth. Like, I don't like the posters on my wall were never like the role players, the all-stars, like it was, Kobe and the greats, right? Jordan. Like I love superstars. I like watching them do it at the highest level. As far as kind of how I got into baseball, I would say my granddad was like my best friend growing up. And it's kind of a funny story. It's kind of a dark, disturbing story at the same time too. But my granddad was my best friend. Like he really was. And he was actually ironically a Giants fan, believe it or not. And they lived up in near Sacramento. So I'd spend summers with them, like 3 months, my grandma, my granddad, and we would watch games and he would get he would get Dodger games up there too. And he would tape the games on VHS and like he would pause the game after like a pitch and he would want me to tell him if that was a strike or a ball or what kind of pitch that was. Like, what did I see in that at bat? It was just this like weird thing. He was actually really good friends with Lefty Gomez, who was a former baseball player back in the day. So he was like really into it, actually coached basketball in the Army and things like that. So he was super duper into it. And we kind of had this like Dodgers Giants thing going. It was like our bit. Like, I love the Dodgers. He loved the Giants. And so in 1997, the Dodgers and the Giants were in this big race for the postseason, right? It was back before all the kids, you don't know how good you got it. You're spoiled little brats. Like we were begging for postseason appearances, not World Series, right? So back in 1997, he got really sick and he was on an oxygen tank. They brought him down. My mom, my grandma were taking care of him, this and that. He was in the hospital, right? And it was late that season. It was in September and the Dodgers had a lead on the Giants, right? And the 95 I remember right when they lost, but this is kind of my first like, okay, this is it. Like this is our postseason run. Dodgers had a lead on the Giants and there was a day game up in San Francisco in late September. And I begged my mom. I was like, Mom, it's a day game. Like I can't go to school. It's during the week. You have to let me stay home. Like I got to watch this game. You have no idea. And my mom gets it. She's like the biggest sports fan ever. But she's like, no, you can't. You got to go to school. And I'm like, this is terrible. Whatever, dude. Like, I'm not going to try to learn. Anyway, they're like doing recorder stuff. They learned like Williamsburg, Virginia, things like that. I didn't care, right? So I'm in class. It's like second grade, third grade, something like that. And I get a note that, oh, like Doug has to leave early today because his grandfather's sick and da-da-da-da-da. So I leave school. I watch that game. And in that game, Brian Johnson, the player for the Giants, hits a big home run, and the Giants win that game. And they would ultimately catch the Dodgers and win the division. And the Dodgers basically choked away the division. I actually went to the stadium with my mom to give the postseason tickets away that we had purchased. You had to return the hard copies. It was like that devastating. But I was at the hospital. Visiting my granddad, right? And I'm there and I'm like crying because he had hit this home run. And my grandma comes in. She's like, he's going to be okay. He's going to be fine. He loves you so much. And I'm like, it's not about that. It's the Dodgers lot. You know what I mean? Like, and my mom always like loves to tell this story. And I'm like, it's true story. It's like the saddest thing. Actually, my granddad would actually pass away like a month later. We actually watched the team now known as the Guardians and the Marlins in the World Series who played in that year. Like that was the kind of last thing we did before he passed away. But yeah, my mom was like, dude, like, come on. Like my grandma, like till this day, she's like, no, he's sad about both. She's like, he's sad about both. And really, I'm like, yeah, not really. But
That's so good.
Oh my gosh.
It's that level of obsession, that's the kind of level of obsession that, I've always had with this stuff. It's like, I love everything from, the uniforms, the way Dodger Stadium looks, the symmetry of the stadium, the colors, the palm trees in the back, Vince Scully, all the little nuances of the game. I'm just like, I'm like you guys. Like, once you get hooked and addicted, like, there's really nothing else. I like movies. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like TV shows. I like going to like concerts occasionally, and like you scream at those. But like, have you ever been to a movie or watched a really good TV show and reacted the way you did when Freddie Freeman hit that grand slam?
No, there's nothing better than that. I mean,
No.
I've been listening to your show for years and years, but it's nice to hear those stories from you.
Like it's like literally peak life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know it sounds crazy. More things are more important, but it's definitely kind of peak life. I really think it is.
No, I really resonate with you because, I was born and raised LA, and it's like, I didn't choose to be a Dodger fan, but you just are. And then you have the Lakers like, I was born in 88, so I didn't really have an era of football other than like USC, UCLA rivalry type stuff. But it's like, not only that, but it's true. I love to win. And we had like Kobe years and like these, like, even if we didn't make it to the postseason with the Dodgers, we've always had amazing teams with just like, it's just like,
I watch highlights instead of TV shows.
Yeah.
Like, I'll watch Freddie's Grand Slam for the 500th time instead of watching a TV show. But it's cool to hear, more personal stories about you and kind of where your love of baseball comes from. That's really the heart of our show. And I've been listening to you for so many years. Another question I've had is, you have this perfect voice for what you're doing. How much did that lead you into this job? Or just was it from your pure passion and love of the game?
Well, it's actually kind of funny. So like, yeah, I mean, no, it's actually pretty funny. I do, my show, like I'm like Kiss FM on my show. I play the hits, right? Like whatever they want to listen to, I talk to them about, right? Sometimes I'll tell them about myself and things like that. But, I'm playing like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC on the show. I'm like giving them the hits.
But it's recognizable to the point where I'm having you on like, what is up, Dodger fans?
No, I know.
Like
so
we
the
are
funny
you.
thing about that is like so like my uncle was the broadcaster for the Houston Rockets. And I have another awful story for you, by the way. Like I have a story that I don't want to tell about my other side of the family, right? So one side of the family, my mom's side, what is it like you're close to your mom's side, your dad's? I don't know. What is it? It's like there's one that you're closer to. I think
that's probably common with people, yeah.
The mom, yeah. So and I love them too. Like I love my dad's side of the family, right? I really do. Like, they're awesome.
I don't know. You said Houston, so I don't know where this is going.
That's the thing. So they lived in a place, Sugarland, Texas, right? A place in Sugarland, Texas. And I went out there to visit them when I was a baby. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like baby, where I don't have a choice what I can wear type stuff. You know what I'm saying? I think you know where this is going. And these people, right? My family. They put me in a Houston Astros baby outfit, like the rainbowy one. You know what I mean? Like the Nolan Ryan rainbowy one that I don't think it was even new at the time. They had like bought it like years prior. It was like dusty. It looked like they took me to like one of those, like you go like Sears or JC Penney. You know what I mean? They took me to one of those things.
They photographed you in it?
Yeah.
We got to see.
I burnt them all. I took them out to
like no one's blackmailing me.
I took them out to the desert, set them on fire. Like they've been blackmailing me for years. Now they've since passed away, but like even if they did, like that's how dark it is. But the point I'm trying to make is that he was with the Rockets, a broadcaster. So that's kind of how I always wanted to like kind of get in this world. And I've always been like a big fan of Jim Rome, the sports guy. You mentioned the Lakers. I actually called his show when I was like 9 years old and like talked crap to him because he was talking crap about Shaq and Kobe and the feud and stuff like that.
Wow.
And he gave me a little rack and things like that. But yeah, I mean, I was also, you know, I've been talking for a living for a long time. I was a tour guide at Warner Brothers Studios for a while. I was a
Oh
tour
my
guide.
gosh, I could see that.
Yeah, I was a tour guide at Peterson Automotive Museum for a while. So like, yeah, it's kind of like, you know, I'm the classic, like, hey, talk successfully on the report card type of dude. And I know you girls can yap like crazy too, because I hung out with you guys at the Max Muncy thing. So don't act like, you know, I know how you guys
Oh,
get.
I'm not
Oh,
saying we
no.
don't.
Yeah.
We love to yap.
I knew that I'd have a microphone at some point in my life.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. So, you know, honestly, like to me, like I said, like, you know, if I don't care what I'd be doing for this, you know, to, you know, keep the lights on, pay the bills. Like I guarantee I'd be like in some office, like bugging someone about Emmett Sheehan and like, you know, telling about Conforto and things like that. You know, it's like when you got this like kind of addiction, you just kind of want to keep moving with it for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how Talk Dodgers to me came, because I was like talking to random strangers wearing a Dodger hat, being like, "Oh my God, did you see what happened in the game last night?" And they're like, "No, I'm just wearing the hat." I'm like, "Well,
They're like,
what a tease."
like, man, I'm just like, do you have a Ralph's Club card? Like type in your information, you know, like,
They're like, "Stop bothering the customers."
yeah, exactly.
But before we get to Player of the Week, can you tell us a little bit about your day-to-day working at Dodgers Nation? You put out so much content. You're so great. I'm wondering, like, do you edit it all yourself? Like, what is a day in your life?
No, thanks a lot. I really appreciate that. And you guys have been honestly killing the game too. But I would say that my day, I wake up like 6:30, take out my two dogs, Kobe and Bunny. Then I do a Ram show with my co-host Travis Rogers. You guys know Travis Rogers,
We
right?
love Travis.
So
Oh,
I do a
nice.
Ram
Yeah.
show with him for like 30 minutes, hour, the kind of getting done with it. Then I prep for this show, which involves just, yeah, I kind of have my weird routine. Like basically, like I said, I play the hits, whatever people are talking about, kind of what's like the way I look at it is this: like there's people that are like at their jobs that like wish they could spend all day researching this stuff. So I try to like do their work for them. Right. And like kind of one of the things that I like when I hear Dodgers fans come up to me is they'll be like, "Hey, D-Mac, I'll tell my friends exactly what you say on your show, but I'll pretend that I came up with it and it's my information." I'm like, "Okay, that works for me. As long as you watch, I don't care." You know, so I'll prep for the show. Then I live in Hollywood, and no, it's not like the Yamamoto, like West Hollywood, like really nice. You know, I live like on by Gower
He
Studios.
lives in WeHo?
He lives in WeHo, I thought. Yeah. I mean, that's what I guess I don't want to dox my man Yamamoto, but yeah.
Well, we
then
heard Kersh is living in Manhattan Beach, and
I
that
heard that.
Emmett
He's
Sheehan
like living
and
with
Jack
Sheehan.
Dreyer ran into Eric Harris's son. Like, imagine just them running into each other at a Starbucks.
bumping shoulders with some of the Dodgers pitchers would be cool. But yeah, I head over to the studio, do the live show anywhere from 10 to 12 o'clock. We kind of open that window up just in case there's like breaking news, if there's something we're kind of like waiting for, but pretty consistently kind of go with that. The show goes for about an hour. And then if you guys know Noel, he's fantastic. He's the MVP. He's been on this show. He produces it. Today I've got my guy Robert, who is also producing it. I don't know if you saw that K-pop edit we did. He was the guy behind that, which is pretty awesome. But then after that, we'll kind of like post the podcast, we'll edit some reels, and then usually I'll go to Dodger Stadium if I'm going to the game. If it's at home, I'll get there around like 2 o'clock, set up, go to the field, go to the clubhouse, try to bug some players, go to the Dave Roberts presser, see if there's anything worth asking him, and just kind of get that info, watch the game. Then I do a post-game show from the stadium. And what I do is I'll wait till the road broadcasters leave, right? And then we'll go into that room and we'll do like, sometimes I'll have my guy Michael Duarte from NBC. We'll do a little post-game show. And then, yeah, I'll end up like at home at like, then I go to a taco truck usually on Vine Street at like 12 o'clock and get like either a carne asada or al pastor burrito. And then I'll come home and then I'll edit like some reels. If I if I ask a player a question, like yesterday I asked Mookie about Teo Lizette, I'll kind of get that up. Cause like if you wait, like the starting the next game, right, you kind of got to get out pretty quick. So then I usually go to bed by like 2 o'clock. So it's kind of a crazy day. Yeah.
Has there been a pinch me moment for you? Like someone that's come on the field when you're there in the clubhouse, or just something that you're like, wow, I love my job?
Say for sure. Like, I would say for sure, like, honestly, like I've said this kind of before, like Like, I don't want Kersh to retire. I hope he goes another, 30, 40 years. I came with the Church of Christianity, we're devout Christians, that kind of stuff. But I've always said, like, man, when he retires, you know what I mean? Like, I can, I'll be able to take my fanboy hat off for once and for all, like, be in that clubhouse. Cause he's got kind of the one guy that, like, that's still there that, like, I was in the stands, like, screaming for, and, like, my phone is starting to smoke because I'm defending him in group chats and that kind of stuff, So I would say that, yeah, I mean, I got to talk to him a couple times this year, not in like a reporter scrum thing. Like, it was funny. Like, I remember, like, it was like me and Dalton Rushing. I was talking to Dalton Rushing at his clubhouse, at his locker. And I was asking him, I was like, oh, man, your bobblehead collection is growing. He's like, yeah, but it's not going to be complete until I get a Kershaw, this guy. And Kershaw's walking by. And, like, Rushing just expects me to be like, oh, now I got to, like, talk to Kersh and you at the same time. I'm like, bro, it ain't like that. Like, I know you a little bit and I'm comfortable with you. Like, now, like, you're throwing me into a conversation with Clayton Kershaw. You know what I mean? And there's no backing out. Like, either that or I'm going to like be the most awkward human being. I'll have to, like, unzip my body and, like, run out. You know what I mean?
So what did you say to him?
So then I was like, it was when Walker Buehler got taken. He got ejected, right? And we were talking about Walker Buehler getting ejected. And he's like, yeah, I mean, that's Walker, like we always used to say, like, it's like, that's one F-bomb too many and this and that. And then he was talking about, like, wanting to kind of pitch to see the ABS. Like, he wanted to pitch long enough to see the ABS, automated balls and strikes thing, And I think it said something like, yeah, like, oh yeah, like, Angel Hernandez retiring. That was like the best only good call he's ever made, or stupid stuff like that. And I was like, I told him my theory about how the bad umpires in baseball, that they're actually the investors in the automated balls and strike system, so that they've been umpiring poorly for years because of that. You know what I mean? And, like, he kind of, like, thought that was, like, funny or whatever. You know what I mean? And then I was like, yeah. And it was
You
just
made
like,
Kersh laugh.
You got a chuckle.
It's just like, a little reaction. You know what I mean? And then, like, and like, it was funny because, like, Dustin May was doing a press conference, or, a little scrum. The other thing, it was just me and him. I was like, gotta go there. He goes, see you later. You know what I mean? I was like, I remember, like, I hit up my mom. I was like, dude, he'll never remember this. Like, what I'm saying? He'll never remember this. Maybe he does, who knows? But, but I was like, dude, it was crazy. It's like me and Kersh, no cameras, like, da-da-da. I was, like, talking, that kind of stuff. And then, yeah, it's, I don't know, man. Like, he's a guy that, like, you read so many stories about how meticulous he is with how he has, like, every minute is like, I've interviewed at the Blue Diamond Gala, and I'd be like, all right, Kersh, can I get one question in? And, like, he'll answer that one question. I'll be like, yo, but also, how's the rotation? You're like, you said one question, and then he'll leave. You know what I mean? Okay. So
Yeah.
it's like he's got, like, a time. So you never want to, like, mess with a guy that's that meticulous with time and stuff. But I would
So
say
you're saying,
definitely
hey,
that.
Kersh got 3 questions.
Yeah, I know, exactly. So if I'd said 20 would be good, I know that for sure. That I think the other one too. I mean, I got to interview Ken Griffey Jr. in Seoul, South Korea last year.
Wow.
Which was cool. Like, I mean, that was a pretty much a mind blowing one for me. Ken Griffey Jr. for sure. That's always that was a big one for me. But yeah, I think, I mean, honestly, just like, kind of like, I've had some players, like, ask me questions. I've had some players, like, ask me questions about, like, what I think about, like, what they're doing right now. You know what I mean? They're like, like, what do you think? I'm like, bro, like, there's way more, like, high paid guys that work here that can give you those answers. Like, but it's kind of funny to me. I'm like, you really care what I think about what you're doing as a pitcher right now, which is, like, kind of funny to me. That is kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, you talk to these guys long enough, they're really good at sniffing out, like, the people that, I think, like, there are people there that are, like, super interested in it, I guess I should say, you know what I mean? Which is always kind of funny to me, is like, anytime you get to talk to any of these guys that are, like, legends. I mean, you guys talk to Oral, right? And all those guys, and you're just like, oh man, like, can I hold my own in a baseball conversation with these dudes? And, like, once you kind of do, it's kind of a cool thing for sure,
Oh my
like,
gosh.
yeah.
That brings me to our Joe Davis episode.
Oh yeah.
When we had Joe Davis on, there was a moment where it was like he was broadcasting. He was, like, reminiscing and talking about the Freddie Gibby moment. And he like gets in character and is, like, broadcasting a game. And there's a moment we're just looking at each other like, I can't believe we're sitting here right now and listening to this. Like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anytime, you see Joe Davis and Oral and
But
even
like
like Posey
sitting
and Mode,
down
all these
having
guys.
conversations is a little easier. Like we just, had the Will Smith event and we weren't really able to sit and talk, but it's like, he walks by and you want to have that like 1-2 and you're like, I have no idea
We didn't know
to
what to
say.
say.
Like, good job. Like, good luck.
I know. I ended up going, good luck against the Padres.
Yeah, no, it's always pretty funny. Like, yeah, like I mean, I think for me, it's like you always have like something to say or show them, or like like they don't. I feel like they don't like small talk. You know what I mean? But it's like if you have like something, if Anthony Bonda's up there, I'll go and I'll like talk to him about Pokemon. You know what I mean? Like I'll literally show him like I'll show him pictures of me and Pikachu in like Tokyo or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of funny how things work like that. Like I'm not acting like I'm like best friends with all these guys or anything like that for sure, but you can tell like the guys that like the reporters that are and stuff like that like I think they kind of appreciate the hey man, like they see these guys more in their families, right? I mean, these guys that like travel with the team, like they're around them a lot, and it's not like football, right? Where there's like 17 games and bye bye. It's like literally like 7 months out of the year that where it's like if you don't talk to these guys once, you're like, dude, like who the heck is that weirdo? You almost have to, even if it's like super duper like awkward. You know what I mean? Like,
Find
you guys
something.
Totally.
Words, say
Right, 'cause,
yeah,
something.
like
Will
you guys
Smith
are
walked
mentioning
by.
Austin Barnes, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'll tell you a funny story about Austin Barnes. Like, so it was like 2 spring trainings ago, and there was a player, the pitcher named like Tyler Sear. I don't know if you guys remember Tyler Sear. Probably not. Like you probably don't remember. Like he didn't pitch that often. But the Dodgers had signed Tyler Sear, and I did a breaking news video where I called him Tyler Sire, right? And I think I made a joke saying, yeah, he's not going to want to Sear Young for the Dodgers, but he could help this team, right? And I was standing by like Austin Barnes' locker, and Tyler Sear came up to me and he's like, "You Doug McCain? You too?" I was like, "Yeah, man." I thought he was gonna be like, "I love this show." I was like, "Oh yeah, that's me, man. Thanks for the." He's like, "My family has worked for that name, and that name means a lot to us. And for you to mispronounce my name on your show, and this and that." Was totally disrespectful. And the dude was straight up like he was like this close. I thought he was gonna punch me. I legitimately thought dude was gonna punch me, right? I don't know about you guys, like I'm the worst blusher ever. Like if I'm embarrassed, like I turn like a tomato. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like bright red. I could see the Dodgers PR in my corner of my eye. I was like, okay, this is the last time I'll ever be in here. Like straight up. You know what I mean? And this guy's just lighting me up, like and I'm like, I was like, I just didn't say anything, like because I really wanted to be like, yeah, like because when the Dodgers sign a player, like I will watch like parents' home videos of them saying their kids' names just to get the pronunciations right because it's tough to find them because they haven't been like in games and stuff.
Right.
And he was kind of like a lesser known player, but I did say the Sear Young thing. Obviously, I was just kind of kidding. I mean, geez, but yeah.
Well, I bet that made you never do that again. It's like when someone makes an error, then they go and hit a homer to make up for it. So you'll never make that mistake
I was
again.
like, Sear, it's Sear. You're like, you know what I mean? And then after he left, like Austin Barnes came up to me, he's like, dude, that guy's blow you up. And I was like, yeah, man, he got really blew you up. And he's like, I'm surprised it's taking this so long with all like the issue talk. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And he was just like kind of messing with me. You know what I mean? Like, but like, dude, if he didn't come up to me and like talk to me, bro, like I swear to God, like I would like died. You know what I mean? I'd probably probably wouldn't even be talking right now. So like, the point I'm trying to make is like these players kind of understand that like the people in there have to like kind of do their jobs and I think too, like, I mean, at least for myself, like my like I really like my number one thing for me is like number one goal is to like help people like enjoy baseball more by knowing more about it. Like for me, it's like my mom and I like all we did was watch sports. You know, like that's all we did as kid. I mean, when I was a kid and stuff, like that was like our main thing. Like every day, no matter what. Like the Lakers, you mentioned sports, all that stuff. So it's like, yeah, I think like my number one thing is like, hey, like I want to interview you so I can like tell the fan more things so they can like you more. You know what I mean? So like, I think that they recognize that people's like intentions for the most part are pure like that. So like, yeah, but crazy stuff happens, man. Like, I got blown up for sure, as he said. You know what I mean?
Have the players told you they watch your show?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've got some I've heard stories of, man. I mean, sheesh. Like the Max Muncy thing was pretty interesting earlier in the year. It's funny, we're at his event and that kind of stuff. And like, it's kind of on 180, but during spring training, I went up to Max Muncy and I asked him, hey, Max, like, because Max was actually one of my first big interviews, like All-Star a couple years ago, always been fantastic. I mean, I think he's one of the smartest guys in baseball. Like, he can have an opinion on all the big picture stories about baseball and things like that. I went up to Max Muncy, asked him, hey, Max, had a couple minutes for a question, this and that. And he's like, nah, man. He's like, my wife watches all your stuff, and like, I can't, right. Like, I'm trying to like keep it in right now. And like, you're trying to trade me for Arenado or whatever it was, who knows, you know what I mean? And then I was just like, oh, sorry about that. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, I didn't even interview him. You know what I mean? So like, but then it's like, I interviewed him for that thing. And we kind of talked about, I've been known as like a Max Muncy, like defender, you know what I mean? Like to a fault, you know what I mean? Like, so the point I'm trying to make is that even if I hope that like, I don't think a lot of the players watch a lot of this stuff, but I do know
I think they do.
I hope they don't. I think they do, but they don't say they do kind of stuff. But like, I think that what it is what I've, in my experience, like when I go to games, it's like their families that come up that watch the show, their wives watch the show, this and that. So yeah, I mean, my whole thing is, I always say like, bring your facts to the fight. If I'm ever going to, talk about a player like a Michael Conforto, it's not going to be something personal about him. It'll be something about, and like, I got my comments on the screen. The people, they watch the show because it's kind of like the Keep It 100 Dodger show, as I like to call it. But yeah, you can't just go and attack these guys because none of these guys, all these guys are here for a reason. Like the Dodgers brought them here because they think they're really good players. But yeah, as far as like, Bonda and Ben Kasparius, think guys like that, Alex Vesia, their agents, I mean, it's kind of flattering, you know what I mean? Like, it's not why I do the show. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't the goal to get in fact, it's kind of made me in recent years, like after I do this show, I'm like, holy crap, I got to walk in that clubhouse in 2 hours. Like, what'd you say again? You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys, 5 years ago, it was like fire everyone's, you know what I mean? Like, I was like off the rails before I kind of like started getting some access a little bit. But yeah,
there's definitely a balance in how
There
you like do it. But, sometimes it's like, even for us, it's like, we don't attack personally, but it's like sometimes as fans, you're like frustrated and you're just trying to understand. And it's more of just like talking through it versus like saying this is what it should be, but sometimes it doesn't, you can't just sit and be positive constantly.
We have to challenge them. No one's going to want to listen to us just be positive all the time, especially when things are going wrong. Like, we have to be real. We have to be honest. And that's part of it. That's why we're choosing to even have a show in the first place.
Yeah, no one wants like Dodgers State TV, right? Like no one
and
wants.
We spin everything positive. So it has been a little challenging during kind of the ups and downs to navigate how to best talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure like it's kind of tested. And the good thing is like
I'm off the IL too, but I was also sick like you last week.
Oh, you were? Yeah, no, I think Shohei, there was something going around clearly, but yeah, I mean the Dodgers kind of make it easy if we're being completely honest. Like, I mean, it should be a different tone if you're like a Rockies show, like if this is like Talk Rockies to me, right? Or like Talk Pirates to me, right? There'd be a lot of explicitives in there and things like that. But and I think most of it was kind of geared towards like the ownership and things like that. But yeah, I mean, like it's, you got to have those honest conversations. And I think everyone kind of has, it's like what Tommy Lasorda said, it's like, if I listen to the fans, I'd be sitting right there next to them, right? Like these guys know that like fans are passionate. Like the thing about the Dodgers fan base is like, I really do think like you could make the case that like the Dodgers, like top like 100,000 fans, like are as passionate and interested and involved and obsessed as any fan base for any team in all of sports. Like, I don't care if it's like the NFL, Premier League soccer, the Lakers. Like, when you talk to a fan that watches your show, like they can name the entire roster. Like they watched all 3 hours of it's tough to be kind of like a casual in baseball, right? It's kind of like you're all in or you're like, hey, I just wait for the NFL to start. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So that, I mean, I think the like Andrew Friedman said it last offseason. I mean, Andrew Friedman said himself that, there was all this talk, the Dodgers are ruining baseball. the Dodgers are going to go 162-0, the Los Angeles deferrals and all this stuff. And Friedman's response to that was, we have had a lot of success, not just on the field, but we're 3-4 million fans per year. We got a great TV deal. Everything is lined up. And this roster, in a lot of ways, is to reward our passionate fan base. So they know that it's World Series or bust for this team, even before Shohei was like that. Because, like you said, Jacqueline's the city of champions, right? It's Los Angeles. Like, if you're like, either you're great or like it's 10,000.
What a nice way to spin it. We are going to charge everyone a lot on food because we want you to be rewarded. Oh, yeah.
You know, the Dodgers, the name Dodgers, we're the only team that's name is named after the fans.
Yep, that's true. The Charlie Dodgers.
Which I love.
People died. Like, people died. People got ran over by the trolley. There were some fatalities behind that. You know what I mean? We died for this name, you know, but that's the thing too. I mean, you know, a lot of people, you talk about the fan base and the spending and all this stuff. And like, the truth of the matter is like, you know, it goes back to Brooklyn and Walter O'Malley choosing to go to Los Angeles. And, you know, there's the fan base, like you mentioned, no NFL team here. I'm sure that played a part. Like, you know, when you grew up watching the Dodgers, you grew up in this town, like you were there on some random Tuesday with a bunch of your daycare people all wearing a lime green shirt, sitting up in the reserves, like watching the Montreal Expos. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't do that to Laker games. Like, you went to like one Laker game if you're lucky. You know what I mean? Maybe two. But
I know.
Your whole class went to a Dodger game once. You know what I mean? Like,
I love that.
That is translated today to the intro. Like, this team isn't, you know, like this doesn't exist without the fan base. I mean, it truly does. I mean, look at the Clippers. They have all the money in the world, right? I mean, you know, they don't win anything. So it's like,
speaking of fans, did you see the Karen at Phillies who?
Gosh.
So what do you think is the etiquette when it comes to balls getting put into the stands and them bouncing off seats? And
the first to touch it or the last?
So first of all, she said that I saw it first, didn't she? I'm like, bro, 20,000 people saw it first, right? I mean, Harrison Bader saw it first, but I'm just glad we live in an era where we've got platforms where we can publicly shame people on that level. You know, like,
people are dressing up like her for Halloween.
No, it's crazy. I mean, she said she can't leave her house. She can't go to the grocery store. And the funny thing is, she's like she could not, like, if she's like the Karen of the Karens. Like, she could not look more Karen than she actually looks, right? And as far as the etiquette goes, it's a simple etiquette. Everyone knows this. Is if you get the ball in your hand, that's okay. But if there's ever a kid involved, it goes to the kid. Like, that's how it's always been. Also, anyone watching this, that's why you always have to go to Amazon, go to Dick's Sporting Goods, go to Dodger Stadium, get an authentic Major League Baseball, and always keep it in your pocket, right? Always keep it in your pocket, especially if you're sitting in the pavilions, especially if it's in the outfield. That way, when you get a ball, you do the switcheroo. You do the switcheroo, and this is not a problem. But yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, I think people got a little crazy on her, this and that. For me, if I'm the kid, I'm thanking her, right? I'm thanking her because of this, dude, he got like an RV. There's like an RV company that has given his family like an RV, like Camp World or something. Yeah, the Phillies did something. The Marlins did something. I'm like, hey,
I guess like the Phillies, they came and brought him something. I always say this because I've never caught a foul ball and I'm dying to catch a foul ball. But I'm at the age now where if there's a kid near me, there's no way I can't give it to the kid or else. I mean, this lady went nuts. I don't know if I'd ever do what she did, but yeah, but I was so funny. I was just sitting next to this kid at a game and we're talking. He's like, oh, I want to catch a foul ball. And I was like, dude, I've never caught one. He's like, really? And I was like, but you want to know what sucks is if I catch one this game, I've got to give it to you. And he looks at me and he goes, no way, man. If you catch that ball, you keep it.
Well, here's the thing. That's pretty interesting to me because people always say the right thing now, right? But like when you actually there's a back of like by the press box, there's a little corner that sells game issued Dodgers jerseys, right? There's a Shohei game issue one for $50,000, right? But they also have this crate of balls that are in these brown sacks that you can actually buy foul balls for like $35. But there's Shohei ones that are like thousands for a Shohei foul ball. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like I wouldn't give it if it was a kid involved. I wouldn't just give it to the fan, but I would give him a discount. Like I wouldn't charge him as much. You know what I mean? Like,
You're right though, dude. If I was sitting in the Ohtani seats, the home run seats,
Or where the heckler was sitting.
Caught it with my own glove or hand. Yeah, you're right. I don't know if I just caught an Ohtani ball. If I would have been like, okay, here you go, booger fingers.
Yeah, or, it's like it's kind of one of those things. It's like, yeah, I'll give it to you, but let's keep it at my house. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
That kind of thing. But it also too. I think the cool thing about today is like if you catch a ball, like it's crazy. Like yesterday was the anniversary of Sandy Koufax's perfect game. It's like there's like 6 minutes of footage for like the best pitcher performance ever. You know what I mean? Today it's like if you catch a foul ball or you catch a home run, like at least you get like an awesome like 4K HD quality video of you catching it. So at that point, like what's the ball? Like it's the moment anyway, right? It's like it's the whole thing. But yeah, I mean, it's always that's the dream. My dad's caught a foul ball. I've actually never caught one. Like my peak baseball is like, I won most improved player for JV for JV baseball at South Pass. So it's like, that's kind of the award where like, hey, you sucked at the beginning of the season. You kind of got better award. You know what I mean? So like, I'm pretty solid at sports, but like you got to really lock in to just kind of make those grabs.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Doug, we could talk Dodger baseball with you all day, but kind of on the lines of what you're just saying with most improved. Last week, I couldn't even give a player of the week because I didn't think any of them deserved it. So I'm excited to see your choices for player of the week. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Doug, you got yours?
You want to battle off? You want to go first?
We say it at the same time.
Oh, okay.
You ready?
We count down and then
a pitcher and a position player or just
one.
Just
Okay.
And it can be for whatever reason, and you'll tell us the reason. But
all right.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right, player of the week. 1, 2, 3.
Yamamoto.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I was picking Rory, Ben, the catcher. He's had quite a week.
I was like, what Ben are we going with? I was like, no, I got to give it to Yoshi.
He was my runner-up.
I mean, he did an amazing. I mean, it really was a horrible ending, but I mean, what?
I know that was. I wish that he got.
I know.
He got it. I really do. It would have been cool, and the same week of the Sandy Koufax thing, like just a lot of cool things happening for our pitchers right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough too. I mean, like you could pick Shohei almost every single week. I mean,
I know. Well, my other runner-ups were Mookie, Teo, everybody, because they're all smiling and happy.
Freddie hit a home run.
Freddie,
nice.
always.
It's the first week I don't even think I thought of Pajes. He's always been such a
Pajes is always hers. And last week I'm like, I don't want any of them. So this week we're all smiles.
Now it's like that's like a great like indication. And yes, the Dodgers did go 1-5 last week. So I mean, they lost the last place teams like all week long, which so it's kind of funny to be this optimistic about the Dodgers after being a last place 105 lost team in the Rockies. So let's put things in perspective here.
I know, but like whatever.
Yeah, I know. It's like we've been hurt, right? It's like we're trying to get off the mat here, right? And like that's a great indication that things are going right in the world of Dodger baseball when you have options. And there's not a lot of wrong answers for player of the week. That's kind of when they're at their best for sure.
I know.
I know. 8 2/3. He's been like him and Ohtani, the MVPs really of this team. I mean, Jack, I'll give you a hidden one like Justin Robleski, Jack Dreyer. There's some honorable mentions there. Those guys were really good. It's 7 scoreless, 11 strikeouts. They're really good.
Yeah, totally. Well, it was so fun to meet you at the Max Muncy event. I'm glad you guys cleared things up.
Yeah, no, I
mean, we're gonna have to get drinks or something because there's a lot of questions we have for you off recording that we like want to learn from you. I mean, you've been doing this for a long time, and this is year 2 for the podcast for us, and we love all the content you put out, the stories you choose to tell. You do such a great job, and I've loved listening to you for years.
Oh, that means a lot. I really appreciate it. And honestly, congratulations on your show. You guys crushing it, killing it. The podcast, social media, different spin on it, which is like, I think awesome. Your logo is super sick. You guys got custom gear, which is pretty amazing as well. So yeah, I mean, it's Dodger baseball 24/7, 365 with us. And we know it's that way for the fans. So, I mean, we're just like, they call it my post-game show, the Dodgers therapy session. I mean, we're just like, we are 100% here for the fans and anyone who wants to talk Dodger baseball any and every day for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for coming on today. And you are welcome anytime.
Yes.
Yeah, we love talking to you.
No, thanks a lot. Had a lot of fun, and we'll get you guys on my show at some point too, man. Definitely, got to get you in the studio. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I
gotta come
know.
see it
Yeah,
for
we would
sure.
love to. Let us know.
all right, sounds good. Thanks, ladies. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Thanks, Doug.
Think blue.
Go Dodgers.
Think
Go
blue.
Dodgers.
I'm out. Yeah.